To overcome the enemy's will, you must inspire and maintain a strong will to fight in your own troops. Combat can cause a wide range of human responses, from freezing under fire to acts of extraordinary valor and courage. The leader must ask, how will my Marines react to enemy contact? You can never be certain because so many intangible factors affect human will, such as fear, anguish, esprit, and unit cohesion, to name only a few. Furthermore, your Marines' reactions to combat will vary from man to man and from time to time. Some will fight more bravely in one engagement but less in the next. But one point is certain. You, the leader, have tremendous influence on the fighting spirit of your Marines. And again, it doesn't matter what the leadership situation is. That leader has a huge amount of influence on the people. Can be really positive, can be really negative. Combat stress. In combat, certain factors and reactions can inhibit a Marine's will to fight. These factors and reactions fall under the category of combat stress. Factors causing combat stress include stress, fear, panic, shock, fatigue. Some reactions are called acute stress reactions because they cause immediate loss of performance. An example of acute stress reaction is the fear you would experience if you suddenly came face to face with an enemy tank at close range. Yeah. Although you heard me on the last podcast, like, I don't know how an enemy tank is suddenly appearing to you at close range. Like, you'd be hearing some noise. Some factors and reactions called cumulative stress build stress over time and include fatigue, anguish, and repeated exposure to danger. So on the last podcast, they talked about these two types of combat fatigue, right? One was immediate and acute. Like, hey, I'm on the beach, we're getting mortared and machine gunned. I'm getting in this first crater that I find and I'm not getting out. As opposed to you're 14 days in, 16 days in, 18 days in, and now you break from the continuous fear and stress. And it goes into that a little bit. Acute stress, sudden, unexpected, relatively short in duration, and very intense. Fear is the most common source of acute stress in combat. Fear is a reaction to danger. Since combat is inherently dangerous, fear is universal among men in battle. This makes fear not a sign of cowardice, but part of combat. Yeah. Yep. I like how they say that. It's just part of combat. There is no not part of combat. If you're going into combat, there's going to be machine guns and there's going to be fear.
Yeah.
Humans instinctively want to survive, and combat threatens them with death. Fear of injury, fear of pain, and fear of being permanently disabled are normal in a combat situation. As men see other men being killed and injured in combat, their fears become more intense. They know the same can happen to them at any moment. And of course, the unknown is a great source of fear. And this is something that I talked about in the book, Mikey and the Dragons, right? You don't know what's going on. Man, that anticipation is so much worse than the thing.
Yeah.
It's so much worse than the thing. Mm-hmm. You know, it's being backstage with fighters or grapplers. You can see everyone all nervous. Yeah. And then you know, once you get out there, you're just doing your thing.
Yeah, fully.
Obviously, certain weapons cause a lot of fear. The amount of fear usually depends on what the Marine perceives he can do about it. For example, being mortared or bombed may raise great fear in an infantryman because he usually cannot respond directly to the source of the fire. Mines and booby traps have the same effect. On the other hand, the infantryman may deal better with fear caused by receiving enemy small arms because he can usually fire back. This is something that's important to think about in your world. Because there's certain things in your world that you can't really control. You can't even, like, the market changes. And you're afraid the market's going to change. Well, you can't really control that. So what can you control? What can you deal with right now? What can you impact? Mm-hmm. But sitting around and worrying about something like the market is not going to be helpful to you. You're better off freaking just getting out there and getting after it. It talks about the German Stuka dive bomber, which had like the siren mounted on it. So when it would attack, the dive bomber would be like, and how that caused much more fear than normal, which is kind of,
makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of horrifying and cool at the same time. Fear causes both physiological and emotional reactions. Physiological reactions include trembling hands, nausea, perspiration, and increased breathing and heart rate. These reactions are not necessarily bad. If effectively controlled, they help the body prepare for danger. In fact, controlled fear increases your ability to react to physical threats and survive them, right? So you get that adrenaline flowing, you're kind of hyped up. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Of course, we don't want to live like that because then it can become a bad thing. Panic is a sudden burst of emotion that results in flight. It is particularly dangerous to a unit because it spreads rapidly. Isn't it kind of crazy? It's like the ultimate form of groupthink is a panic situation, a group panic.
Oh, yeah.
Like in combat. After studying incidents of panic during World War II, SLA Marshall noted 2 distinct steps in a unit that panics. First, some friendly action, such as the unexpected withdrawal of an adjacent unit, was misunderstood. Soldiers watching the adjacent unit withdraw panicked because they feared they would be isolated and surrounded by the enemy. This in turn caused the panic to spread quickly and the entire unit fled. Yeah, like they talk about in World War I, how a runner, meaning, hey, Echo, go take this message to the rear and tell them we need more weapons or more ammunition. So you start running back and someone sees you, he's running, I'm running.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's 5 people, 10 people, and then everyone's running.
That's a weird. No, it's actually not weird. That makes sense. If, let's say you're on the downtown San Diego daytime, just walking, and someone's walking towards you or in front of you, whatever, right? And they all of a sudden just start running.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, you're at least going to feel it.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on your personality, but you're at least going to, whatever caused people to panic, you're going to feel that. It's weird. No other context except for them just running all of a sudden. It's weird how that is. It's like, it's almost like.
It's like a tribal instinct, right?
Yeah, it's like an instinct. It's like, you know how people, like they say a lot of times, they say it in this weird kind of esoteric way, but they're like, oh yeah, we're all connected or whatever. But you can kind of zoom out and be like, wait a second, maybe there is like this thing that's connecting all of us, you know? And then someone interrupting it kind of like short circuits us for a little bit. You know how they interrupt in all these little teeny tiny ways.
Yeah, and there's got to be some. So we were up at Bull Hill Ranch for the council, and when we were up there, we ride horses, and actually I've been riding horses for the last few because of the way the schedule's set up. But the first time we went up there riding horses, there was like an incident with the horses where 2 of the horses got tangled up. They started fighting, and there's like 35 horses, but they all got like some of them just started running, right? Yeah. The one I was on, I had to like chill that thing out, and I'm not an experienced horse rider.
Sure.
And by that, I mean, that was my first time riding on a horse. Sure. So I'm like going, okay, buddy, like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. But you could feel like the tension. And same thing when you see a dog park or like a dog, like one dog starts running, they all get nuts, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not that different that a human sees a human running and you think, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Panic.
Yeah, man.
So your behavior, especially from a leadership perspective, when you start to panic, and another thing is like, what is your psychological state when you see someone else running? These guys are in combat; they're already afraid. So when they see someone running, that's all they need to see, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Check.